during the beta, but I'll probably play. I will more than likely play when it releases. Ancient Relic, you're really enjoying it? Okay.
Exactly what I need.
So he's gonna live?
Yes.
Then we are leaving.
Wait. Not without thanks.
I mean, we caused this. You're not gonna thank us? That's just that. You shouldn't do that.
You want solitude? This mark will hide you from those who
Odin.
might make your journey difficult. Luina.
That's a snowflake.
Luina. Hemele.
Are we going down?
There's a shortcut below the house that leads safely out of these woods. Follow this path down, then head towards daylight.
Guys, go follow my friend Jen. She's awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you guys so much. Feel free to lurk. Feel free to chat. We do all kinds of things here. I hope you guys have fun.
Now get out of here.
Tomboy.
For those who don't know anything about this game, by the way, so God of War is a series that's kind of been set in Greek mythology for a long time, but we've sort of made a transition into Norse mythology for this game, and it's been pretty good. We've gotten older, and we have a son now. Our wife or his mother passed away at the beginning. You don't really see it. Our job is to take her ashes to the top of this mountain, and apparently the Norse gods don't like us. Because we're an outside god, essentially, because we're from Greek. Nightmare! Do I know which system I'll be getting on? Probably PC.
Fire! Love you!
Ow, ow, ow. Ow? Okay, alright, hold on. Give me a second. Damn it, I can't see when they're hitting me. Ah! Jeez.
Mom used to tell me about
Are you
them.
spare with friends?
Didn't
Yeah,
think
I would
they'll
assume
actually
so. But I think that's why people don't like it.
They give people nightmares. Or they
And,
are nightmares. I don't remember.
To the
wish I
comment
could
about
ask.
people expecting Fallout 5, I think that disappointment is just it's continuous disappointment from the announcement of Fallout 76, because as much as 76 might be fun, even if it's buggy or whatnot, it's a Bethesda game, it's going to be buggy. But as much as it might be a fun game, they took a single player RPG, immersive RPG, and kind of just, I wouldn't say ruined it, because it might still be good, so that's like not the right word. But they kind of threw it away. They turned it into something that's completely not what was ever meant to be done. Which personally, I don't care too much. I mean, Fallout 2. Ever since Fallout 2, I've never really liked a Fallout 2 much. Fallout Tactics was good too, though. But ever since those games, I've never really liked a Fallout 2 much, so it's not really my thing.
Isn't that heavy?
But
Yes.
Doesn't seem
I sympathize with the people that will want a Fallout 5 because, well, I don't think they're gonna make one. They might. I just don't think so. We judged it as an RPG that absolutely ruined it, but it's not an RPG. But why would you do something different? I guess the question. Why would you do something different? It's Bethesda. So we talked about this at E3, or when we were watching E3. Why would you make a game with the same branding, knowing that people are not gonna buy it just because it's not that? Because I mean, you can talk about ESO and stuff like that, and see how you already tested it out with ESO. If you're Bethesda, I don't even know if I was supposed to do that. If you're Bethesda, you already tested this out because ESO came out, and while it still has pretty decent numbers, they're using it. They're using their own brand name to play a different game. Which, you're Bethesda. You can come out with a new IP and it will sell. That's the problem that I have. If you're a different company, if you're like, let's say you're BioWare like 7 years ago, you're a very small company. Yeah, you're owned by EA, but you're BioWare. It's hard to come out with something that's a little bit off-brand, and you might have to do something like that, which is why Andromeda existed. But you're Bethesda. You have all these IPs that people know and trust. Why would you disobey that trust, I guess, is my question. I don't know, we'll see. I'm not holding any judgment. I'm just I can see the disappointment, and I'm not one of those people that is against change. I'm totally for change most of the time, and I think Fallout 76 will be fun. Apparently I'm not supposed to go this way then. I think Fallout 76 will be fun. I just I sympathize with those that are feeling the pain from not getting a Fallout 5. Although I think Fallout was kind of falling off the rails, which is a big reason why why 76 probably exists, because I don't think they were gonna do well with a Fallout. Oh, okay, I see. Devs get bored? But that's what I mean. You could do the same thing with a different IP. I'm not at all complaining about the fact that it exists, that the game exists. I think the game existing is a fine idea, but it doesn't need to be Fallout. That's you banking on people and taking almost what people have seen with like MTX with microtransactions. They see it often as predatory. They're gonna get the same thing. They're gonna get the same thing between predatory, parents who think they're getting their kids another Fallout game because they've loved Fallout their entire life, and not getting that, and then their kids going, well, I didn't really want this because it's not the same thing. You know, if that makes sense. So you're selling a brand, right? And I think you're gonna disappoint more people than you will please. If you're Bethesda, I think you can come out with a new IP and do it right. But again, I don't own any stock in Bethesda. I'm not gonna sit here and say I know anything about their company or what their numbers were for even Fallout 4. I personally thought Fallout 4 was the worst Fallout ever to exist. So I would say that the brand was dying and this was the right move. That's totally fine. The only point I was trying to make is that I sympathize with those that are disappointed that this isn't, you know, a new Fallout RPG. Can the boy shoot it? Maybe. Yeah, he can shoot it, but it doesn't do anything. That being said, I think it'll be pretty fun. I'm not sure how much I'll stream it, but I will try to see what we can do with it for sure. If you think that Fallout 3 wouldn't been made, it's totally different type than Fallout. Wait, what? If you think like that Fallout 3 wouldn't been made, why? They made 3D Fallout. Also, I don't think Fallout 3 was very good either. New Vegas is the only good one that's in 3D, and that was good because it held all the reminiscence of Fallout and Fallout 2. It just took that and put it in a 3D realm. Agnes, what up, dude? How are you, man? Yo, thanks for the host, man. I appreciate it.
How is he?
He
They
needs
merely went from
rest.
2D. Well, understand too.
Does he have a name?
Hildisvini.
This was a new company
a
that
good
took over
friend
the
for a
Fallout
long
IP and made a new game
I've
with
never
it.
seen a boy like him.
They were gambling as well.
You said he was lost in the realm?
The last in this realm. He's from somewhere else entirely. Back home, he could take any form he liked, but since he came here, he's been stuck.
Stuck as a boar?
Stuck in his mind. His own true nature grows faint in his memory, like a dream. while the illusion feels more real every passing day.
Not sure I understand.
To live, simply to live in your physical form, day after day, it's hard to resist believing you are your form. In youth, he might have had the strength to rebel, but Hildisvini is very, very old. Without me to remind him of home, of himself, I fear the boar is all that will remain.
Well, I hope he finds his way home.
Thank you, child. I do too.
Is substantially higher level than you. Yeah, that's fine. You can also not do the same thing too, Agent Fleet. You can do so many things. I've played New Vegas about 12 times now, and I've done it differently every time and been able to do it successfully every time. No, I'm not. Trust me, I'm not a fan of any of the 3D Fallout games. Not really, at least. New Vegas is the best one, and I enjoy that one. I've played it a lot. It's probably the best one there. But understand, like I said, the so Bethesda took over the IP and made a new 3D game. I was automatically against it. Even after playing it twice, I was just not a fan of it because it wasn't Fallout. A lot of people liked it, but it was also a lot of people's first Fallouts. This is the situation that I mean that's different. And yeah, I mean, obviously you can bring up Shelter and whatnot, but that was also free-to-play games. There's no risk. And it was very much a mini game that didn't cost anybody anything to try, and you would use that in between playing Fallout games. You wouldn't use that as a main part of any part of the franchise, so it was a lot less risk. This is a new game costing you $60 that's going to be not part of the franchise technically in the story realm, but it is very much part of the Fallout franchise. It is like I said several times already, it is a good idea for them to do this from a publisher standpoint because they need a new audience, they need new people buying this game, and they need people that are so sick and tired of how they make games that to go away, essentially. I mean, to say that they're doing things doing things in a way that doesn't satisfy their hardcore fans is not necessarily something they're not trying to do, if that makes sense. They know what they're doing. They know that they're going to lose fans because of this, and they are sort of doing it on purpose. And that's not to be disrespectful, but they know that if they were to do something, Todd Howard is the king of this. He'll switch his ideas so rapidly because he knows he's going to get the maximum bang for his buck. And it's not evil, by the way. None of this is bad. This is what a business person does, and he's not going out of his realm too far. He's still keeping it within the feel of Fallout. But you can see it in the interviews that he took, which was essentially avoiding every question that had to do with somebody asking about the fans that already existed. Now, if I were his PR guy, hi More and More, welcome in everybody. I got a couple people to thank in just a second. But talking about if I were his PR man, which PR happens to be one of my favorite things and one of my expertise and interests and stuff like that, and something I've practiced for a very long time. If I were his PR guy, I would have given him answers to that months and months before they actually were at E3 and talked about stuff at QuakeCon, which is essentially, we know that people are not going to see this game properly. At least in the way they used to, and we're very sorry about that, but we think we need to go in a new direction because we want the fans that are a little bit more versatile to be happy, and we also think that we can still keep the feel of Fallout in this game, although it might be different. He said none of that. Now, does that mean he had a bad PR department? I'm not really sure. Does that mean that he didn't think about those answers? Probably, or those questions rather, probably. But when it comes down to getting questions that you know you're going to get and then having not thought about them beforehand, there's an issue there, which means that their main focus was on making a game that they knew they would be able to get a new audience on. Now, could one make the argument that they could have made a bigger and better Fallout 5 than Fallout 4 and got a new audience that way as well? Yes, But in the realm of open world RPGs, we're sort of losing ground there, and they see this. Bethesda sees this as an opportunity to use what they already have and branch out of it. Good idea? Yes. Fantastic idea. It's going to make them a lot more money than if they were to make a Fallout 5. Even if Fallout 5 was perfect, with Fallout 4 and Fallout 3 not being what older Fallout fans wanted, they would have basically lost a lot of things there. I would have probably bought Fallout 5, but I also would have been very hesitant to do it. And me personally, I'm more easily running towards buying Fallout 76 than I am Fallout 5. So they're proving to me at least that they're making the right business decision. But the only part that I'm sticking on is a pride piece, which is essentially, if I were to be making a game like this and I were to be somebody who doesn't care about money, as I really don't, like I care, like we were talking about this earlier, if I can get enough subs and enough cheers and tips and whatnot to pay my bills and pay for some food and stuff like that, I'm happy. After that, the rest can go to charity. That's cool. I appreciate all of that. But also, I'm not a businessman for that reason. I'm a businessman for selling my brand, and that's about it. I'm one of those guys that takes. I like to keep pride and stuff like that, but I also like to be creative in a lot of ways. To a point where, if I feel my company and my employees are a little down on making another Fallout game, making Fallout 76 is not going to change that, because you're still going to have to make Fallout. In fact, you're going to give them new challenges because they have to make it multiplayer now, which you can already see from the beta that they're not really versed in doing that. I would have given them a new IP to work on, which they sort of did, but I would have given them a new IP within the same flavor as Fallout. You know, it just kind of I'm just sympathizing for those that are not expecting a Fallout 5, because you should never do that. I don't sympathize for people that expect a Fallout 5. I sympathize for people that wanted a Fallout 5. If you expect, this is the thing we talk about with a lot of games. If you expect something that you know that you've been given every chance to understand about the next game coming out, that's your fault. That's not anybody else's fault. Yeah, that's not anybody else's fault. But hi, okay, so I got a couple things. I got a couple people to thank here real quick. Agnes coming in with that Hoster Rooney. I hope you guys had a great stream. Sorry, I was talking about a lot of things here. Hi everybody, how are you? Good day everybody. It's good to see you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And then more and more with that Raider Rooney with the you just got more and more. Hi everybody. Welcome, welcome. DT coming in this beast. What up guys? How you guys doing? We got Insomnia Wolf, more and more. Squid Ganeer. Hello Miss Kiwi. Hello everybody. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Hope you guys are doing well. Guys, go follow all three of my friends, not Jen, not _Jen, Agnes, and more. They're all amazing, beautiful, amazing people. All very, very kind, by the way. These are not people that are that will. I don't think they have even a bone in their body that'll get you irritated or piss you off. They're all very, very sweet people. They're the greatest. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I appreciate it. All right, let me catch them in chat real quick. My problem with New Vegas is that it's linear and directed. I actually disagree with that, but I can see why somebody might think that, because there are some things that run you in a certain way. But it really isn't if you take a look at a few paths that you can take. It branches out maybe a little bit further than other Fallout games. I like that Fallout 3 was very empty. It used to be about 15% of the map for the main quest line and about 35% for the rest of the quests. The remaining map space wasn't wasted. You had instances. I guess. I don't know. I felt it was too empty. There was a lot of the map. I see that. I disagree with that too. I think there's a lot of map that was kind of wasted. But I mean, I don't know. What do I know? I've only played those games too many times. I probably forgot them all on purpose. I don't like the implementation and the way they marketed Fallout 76, but I feel like it has a lot of potential for PvE RPG and story-oriented player like me. It has the potential, definitely, but it also has the potential to stop that as well, unfortunately. But I'd actually argue and be entertained by it that Fallout 76 feels more like Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4 combined. I saw some streamers playing in it, and it had the same empty, almost lifeless, and exploration reward. Well, understand that there's not a whole lot of people in the beta too. It's very, very limited to people who have pre-ordered it and been playing at the same time. That's going to change dramatically when it releases, but I understand what you're saying. I haven't seen any of it, so I don't actually know much about it. But I feel what you're saying. From the perspective of someone who has never played Fallout, I'm actually getting Fallout 76. So that's exactly what they're going for. They're going for people who don't play Fallout because they are going after a different audience, which is an open world PvE multiplayer audience, which has, you know, it's different. It's very different. Can the rest go to me? Well, there is no rest at this point, but sure. I get why they went forward to 76 first. I still just don't like. I still just don't like it. Yeah, if you're a Fallout fan, you're not going to like it. That's not the point. The point isn't for Fallout fans to like it, unfortunately. That's the part that I was a little upset about. It's not meant for Fallout fans. It's meant for Fallout fans, but not all Fallout fans. It's meant for a very small section of Fallout fans, and then people who don't know what Fallout is or have never played it and just heard about it. It's for those people, which is fine. I think that's the best way to do it from a business standpoint. Being burnt by the Division? Burnt by the Division, really? I love the Division. Bad experiences with games like Rust and Ark. Okay. I like Ark. I don't like Rust. But I like the Division and Ark. So I don't know. I guess that's just taste at that point. But for launch that I couldn't even play for the first month because of bugs and a ton of near misses with games. Just on 100% full guard up. As you should always be. You should never just buy a game just because you feel like, oh, this might be something I like. You know, that's what Twitch is for. That's what Twitch is for. That's what YouTube's for. That's what reviews used to be for. But now it's hard to get an honest review out there because it's very easy to be blacklisted by a company without knowing it by giving an honest review and having it not be totally stellar. Unfortunately. No, it actually won't change the set outright that it would have smaller servers make it. No, they said that's not what they said. They said something similar to that, but they had a few hidden gems in there that didn't say that. But yeah, it'll probably stay somewhat smaller than what I guess maybe I put out there to be, but their PR department it needs some work because there's a lot of things that they're not very clear about. Because it's partially probably because they want to be secretive, but at the same time, they need to be a little bit more transparent if people are going to trust them. Granted, they're Bethesda, so people already trust them, so I guess they can do whatever they want. I don't trust them, personally, and I've played lots of Bethesda games. And I have lots of friends who work for Bethesda, but honestly, I don't trust that company. So I'll be waiting and playing it when I get a little bit more information on it. I only get angry when pants are involved. That's perfectly fair. Perfectly fair. If it'll make them more money, then they'll do it. Yeah, as most big publishers have to do. Not that that's the only reason to do it, but they kind of have to. They've got lots of people to pay. They've got lots of resources that they need to, you know, rekindle after every, you know, big release and stuff like that. It's what happens. That's the nature of the beast. The bigger and bigger you get, the more and more you have to sacrifice to make sure that you can stay that big. We see it in every big company, every single big one. Unless you're Tencent, then you just buy everything and then let that break in the money for you. All right, let's get back into this game. If you guys don't know what this game is called God of War. It is I think it's the third or fourth in the series. There's a lot that's happened in the previous games, but this is sort of, you can kind of jump into this sort of fresh because it's kind of new. You just don't know much about what Kratos has been through. We now have a son who we lost his mother, or wife, I guess, right before the game started. That was the beginning scene, was us burying or lighting her on fire in a pyre. And now we're taking her ashes to a tippy top of the mountain where us as a god and him not knowing who we are, our son at least, don't really know, are not really welcomed in this realm, because we went from Greek mythology now to Norse mythology. So we're not really welcomed here, and we're being attacked by many different things. So there we go. All right, let's move on. So now that we've cured him, we're going to go now? Or are we spinning backwards? I don't actually know what we're doing at this moment. I don't know what the last thing was said.
See you later.
Be safe.
Hey, thanks, Ancient Fleet. That's pretty much what we do here. We have conversations that hopefully go somewhere without people getting mad. That's that's actually 100% the goal. You know, we'll talk about serious issues. We'll talk about non-serious issues. We'll talk about a lot about video games. I've been in the video game industry for almost 10 years now, actually. Wow. Oh my God. So I like to use that knowledge to facilitate discussions. What are we doing here? Are we doing this?
Well, that didn't work.
No, it didn't. Thanks, kid. Smart ass. Smart ass. Yoga pants and kilts are acceptable alternatives? Are they? Talisman of concentrated vitality. Oh, sick. Hell yeah, dude. Now we got us a talisman. And whoever complimented my beard and mustache, thanks, guy. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I worked very hard on keeping it groomed. Thank you. It was better than New Vegas, though. You can argue that all you want. For most people that never played a Fallout, it is. But as somebody who's been playing Fallout since the very beginning, New Vegas is the closest to it. It's also the only one that's not made by Bethesda. And as somebody who doesn't really like games made solely by Bethesda, that's maybe a bias of mine. Boils down to personal preference. It boils down to what sort of Fallout fan you are, I think, more than personal preference. If you're the Fallout fan that likes the classic and is into the original design of what the game was meant to be, I think you like New Vegas better. But if you're someone who just likes the simple lore of being in DC apocalypse time during after a nuclear explosion, I'd say you probably do like Fallout 3 more, which is totally cool. I'm down with both sides. Personally, I'm a big Fallout fan from the originals. Well, a big original Fallout fan, not a big Fallout fan anymore. So I lean much closer to New Vegas. I think New Vegas' story was far better put together anyway. As a writer, I would say that it was written 100 times better.
God of Thunder.
That's right.
Oh, it is Thor.
I never thought you listened when Mother spoke of the gods.
I seldom did. Did she speak of one who could feel no pain?
Oh. That sounds like Baldur.
Baldur.
Oh, it is Baldur!
Son of Odin and Frigg.
And Odin.
Yeah!
Was king.
That's right. Why do you ask?
Yeah! I freaking knew it, dude. I didn't know it was Baldur, but I knew it was Odin's son, and Baldur makes sense. One of Odin's sons. Not being Thor or Loki.
Just sitting there in the middle of the lake.
That makes sense. Yep. Baldur brings the apocalypse too. He starts it at least.
I see runes there in his chest. Can't quite make it out.
Hi, Yernolf. What's up, dude?
It reads, sacrifice your arms to the center of the water. Awaken again the cradle of the world. What? Throw our weapons into the water? Guess that won't be a problem for you. Are you gonna do it?
The axe did not return.
Uh-oh. This isn't... Is that Jormungandr?
Hang on, boy!
Okay!
The Eater of Worlds?
What is this?
Oh,
It's the
shit.
royal serpent.
Yup. Yup. Hello. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Stay calm, boy!
This is fine.
This is great!
It's not Jormungandr, but it is a similar serpent.
It speaks?
Yeah! Mom said he's friendly!
What is it saying?
I don't know! That was amazing! Wait! There's the shipwreck way over there. See that? And there's
That
a
was
statue
cool.
of Thor. Except I can see a lot more of him now.
The water dropped, and the serpent rose.
Oh, that must be why the beach wasn't there before, see? And there's the mountain. Look it, that building leads from the foot of the mountain to that golden temple.
It was all just under the surface.
Except for the statue. Good thing, huh? There's even a dock. There, next to the flag. We're going to the dock first, right? We'll be the first people to walk on it in who knows how long.
You know of that serpent?
He's one of the giants. And he's so big he's wrapped around the whole world and bites his own tail.
Oh, it is Jormungandr.
I don't know. Looked pretty big to me.
He
Oh, good. I was hoping we might explore a little.
When we
He,
wish to continue our journey, we know to return here.
is the only one to defeat Thor. He's one of Loki's children. I think it's Jormungandr. I might be getting that wrong. But the Eater of Worlds, basically, he wraps around the earth, and so much that he starts to eat himself by eating his own tail. And he, he's the only one to have defeated Thor, as he tried to defeat him to get to Loki. He's one of Loki's children. Him and Hela.